Welcome back to Savage, Shawn Jordan here at MMAOddsBreaker. It was weird. You were with the UFC, and then you lost a fight, and all of a sudden you were gone. And I thought that they'd pull one of those "you lose one, you're done" kind of things and cut you. I didn't realize it was just the end of your contract.
Yeah, it's just in my contract. Kind of just waiting to see if I can get more money somewhere else or whatever, because they have that right to match for a year, I think.
A year?
Well, you can take another contract, but if your contract comes up, they can still come back and match you. I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Oh yeah. But I've heard of it from like 60 days after your contract's over. If you get if you get an offer from some other promotion, they can match it within 30 days of that.
Yeah, 90 days, like a 90-day grace period, right after your contract's up. But I'm pretty sure from what my manager said, like they have the right to match me for up to a year.
Holy
if I don't get
crap.
Time, whatever, they can have it. They have whatever. Like it doesn't actually run out of time. So,
wow,
they did their business right.
so here's the deal, though. So like, once again, we have to talk about the Reebok deal all of a sudden because Bellator can come at you with less money, but you can make more money from sponsors. If we'll get to it in a moment, but say the fight does come together with Fedor Emelianenko over in Riza, then all of a sudden you're like your sponsorship deals could way outweigh anything else that the UFC could cover because of the restrictions that they have with the Reebok deal. How does that play into it now? Because you're like, oh, well, they're only going to give me $5,000 less per fight, but I'll make $100,000 more on the fight because I'm getting more sponsors.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of those things that kind of have to look at, all facets of it, and that Reebok deal it is restrictive, and some guys are losing money, some guys are making money. I think that's going to grow maybe with time, hopefully. Kind of like the stuff does with NFL and all that. Like I've said before, the sport's growing so fast that the business end of it's not keeping up. But yeah, getting those big fights, you can make more money in sponsorship than I make you're fighting here for the UFC. So that's an option, and that is something I'll definitely look into. And if I do get offers.
Have you had any offers to your knowledge right now? And obviously, they're not going to contact you and then contact your manager. But to your knowledge, has any other organization reached out to you yet?
The Risen guys have talked to my manager some. They're interested and they've said some stuff. I don't know. They haven't really given any details on stuff. But either that heavyweight tournament or maybe the Fedor fight or maybe the second Fedor fight. So they said they're on their thing. They're kind of see if I can wait or not. For that long. Now, depending on what kind of stuff's going on, I mean, I'll wait. I'm not going to fight for cheap anymore. I'm just I'm this for too long, and I'm getting older, and if the money doesn't justify the sacrifice and all that stuff, then it's just not worth it anymore.
My feeling is that I don't know whether to call them Riza or Riza or whatever. I'm not sure what to call them. So I apologize for the promotions. I'm not sure the exact name. But I can't see them giving you Fedor right out of the bat because he's been off for 3 years, and all of a sudden he's coming back in off a hiatus. And when he left, he wasn't doing very well. It wasn't like he was still undefeated, beating everybody up, and all of a sudden he decided to take a break. He was getting beat, So now all of a sudden it's a different ball game. They got to give him somebody like a tomato can. They got to give him somebody to warm him up and get him back into the game. So with that being said, if that does come to fruition, then the heavyweight tournament is what you get thrown into. When does the heavyweight tournament start? Does that start on the New Year's Eve card?
Pretty sure you fight. It's like 3 fights in 3 days.
So it's that December 30th and December 31st. There's for the folks at home, most people don't realize that the New Year's Eve card on the 31st is only one half of the total weekend. They're actually fighting on the 30th, and then there's another card that happens on the 31st. I didn't realize the heavyweight tournament was part of both. I thought it was only going to be one day, and so it's over 2 days, which is almost worse for a tournament action because now bruising sets in, and you have time to rest, and things are going to start swelling up after the fight on the 30th. Do you see that being a problem?
It'll be going into that kind of stuff. I mean, you have to understand it's going to be a rough fight, but the other guys don't feel the same way.
Okay.
Both going to be sore, but bottom line is you got to go there and fight, and it's pretty big money. So
yeah,
so it's worth it.
Japanese MMA and Pride especially. Now we're dealing with Sakagabara, who now is in Riza, who used to run Pride. It's a Scott Coker deal, essentially. UFC came and bought out Pride, couldn't compete for several years. When he's able to compete, he comes back and starts Riza. But they're notorious for, hey, you're fighting December 30th. Okay, we're going to get the deal signed December 15th. And you're
I,
like, so have you started training camp already?
I'm leaving this weekend.
And where are you going to go for training camp?
I'm going back at back at top team.
Okay. Now this will be your first time back in our team in a while, or were you there
No,
for your
I'm
last fight too?
there for the most part.
Okay.
After I went from Jackson's, I went to there. I spoke to Coach Hackelman too. That he wants to do some stuff with me and work with me, and he's kind of he comes to our gym and coaches there too. So it's kind of one of those partner deals.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm going to start now because exactly that's what my manager told me. He said, "Look, man, like he said they've called me. They want you, so just get in shape." He said because they'll call you a week before the fight and tell you you're going to come fight.
Yeah, they wait till the last minute all the time. That's their big play. That's always their big play. Hoping that you're not training, hoping you just sing on your ass. You need to. My suggestion to you is you need to train this like a real training camp. Like you have a fight that you're in the tournament because that's harder to train for than an individual fight. You're in the tournament coming December 31st. You got to be ready to. I mean, I don't have to make weight, but you got to be ready to make weight. Got to be on the right diet. Got to be on the right strength plan. You have to do it.
I need to check into that stuff too because there was a rumor that there was going to be a 100-kilo fight, a 100-kilo heavyweight tournament, which is only 220.
Yeah, that's totally different.
I'm not making that.
Well, you could, but be a lot of blood loss and losing of a limb.
To do it 2 days?
Jesus.
I mean, I walk around at 270, 280. You know,
yeah. Now, are you at 270 during training camp, or is that your pre-training camp weight?
I get there, I'm probably about 270. My last month, I probably dropped down some.
Okay. All right.
But my last couple fights, I've been pretty big. I had Derek Lewis and I had some other big opponents, so they wanted me heavy.
Yeah.
Which I'm gonna get down some because I don't like being this big.
Yeah.
But I'm getting too old to be carrying this much butt. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I mean, that's a great opportunity, and it's still not to say I wouldn't get matched. You know, I don't think so. Not me, but you know.
So you get this tournament, and how many fights will you fight over the 2 days? Is it just 2 fights, or is it 3 fights?
I'm pretty sure you fight 2 fights. 1 fight the first day, 2 fights the second day.
2 fights the second day.
Yeah, because then it's the there's 8-man tournament, I think.
Yeah, so it's quarters, semis, and then finals.
So
that's a lot of work.
That's a rough day at the office.
Now, to your understanding, how does the pay work out? To your understanding, is it you get paid a separate amount per fight, or
like 50, 100, and 300, something like that.
So
I think a $500,000 tournament, but I don't know how exactly it's broken down.
See, this is one of the here's one of the weird deals. So you go into the fight going, okay, first round's 50,000, second round's 100,000, third round's 300,000. So I should make $450,000.
Yeah.
And what they do, and this is just me speaking from experience in the past. What they do is they go, no, it's whatever the highest amount that you win. So if you win 100,000, then that's what you get is 100,000. You get 100,000 plus 50,000. You get 100,000, which is 50,000 a fight. If you win 300,000, then you get 100,000 per fight. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's. I'm not saying that's how it is. You got to talk to your manager.
Yeah.
I'm just saying from the past, that's how they've done it. Because I was like, yeah, this is a great tournament. Like, fools me walking out of here with $500,000. Like, oh no, he only got $200,000. Like,
yeah. No, you might be right, and you might be right. That's probably the way it is. I didn't think of it that way either.
But let's be honest. What's the difference between $450,000 and $300,000 for you? Like, what's the real difference?
Nothing.
You're like, dude, it's more than I've ever made. Like, who cares? Like, I'm totally fine. I'm good.
Guys, we're good.
Yeah, it's like, you break off your manager a little bit. You break off the tax man a little bit. All of a sudden your family's got more. They got some more toys. You got some more bills are paid off. You're like, dude, this is great. I'm good for a year. So let's talk for real. Like, let's say best case scenario, $300,000. Next fight's going to be Fedor. At that point, you're going to have to ask for, $150,000, $150,000 to fight Fedor because that's what it's going to command after winning a tournament like that. How much of a game changer is that for you, money wise? Because money's big when you're a fighter and struggling to get by and trying to make things work. All of a sudden, you're flush.
It's a huge game changer as far as even just me wanting to keep doing this. I mean, I've always been an athlete. I've competed my entire life, but at some point in time, it's not because I want to be number one anymore. It's because I need to make money. You want to make money doing this. You
Yeah.
want to make a living. And if it's not making a living, then it's not like football. Football guys like that, they have a union. Their stuff's all put together, and they make even if you're just the baseline on the salary, you're still making good money. Where this sport's just lacking still, and
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. So especially me coming from football, it's kind of like, well, yeah, I did the whole thing. I found bars, did all the one grand
Yeah.
fights, thing. And now it's like it's time to either to get paid or not.
The UFC every year has these fighter summits, a couple times a year, and they kind of do it differently. And there was one going off. I'm not sure it's still going, but there was one going off a couple days ago. And one of the things I've noticed and now mind you, I've only been to one fighter summit. They didn't have them when I first was with the UFC. When I came back, they had them again. That there's been no real planning. We talk about union. When the NFL players get out, yeah, they got to wait till they're 55 or 57 to draw on their pension, but they have a pension plan sitting out there for them. If they reach a certain number of games, a certain number of matches, then they're able to dig into this pension plan. The fight game doesn't have that, and to be honest, we're not smart enough to put money away. One, and two, we're not making enough to put money away.
More importantly, it's not even smart enough. You're not making enough. I mean, I think what I was my 11th fight in the UFC, and I've been in contract for like 14. I got fought Strikeforce too.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Yeah,
it's just like it's kind of like, come on, man. Like you're just not making for the amount of stuff that goes into. You're just not making enough money to be putting away like that. I mean, even with bonuses,
yeah.
I had 2 or 3 bonuses in a row, and that's so that you make money that way, But that's you have to pay. You have to pay off all your debt that you've got. You kind of built up to get through the camps.
Yeah, it's and you're in a tough boat because you're a dynamic heavyweight, athletic heavyweight, explosive heavyweight. That's kind of you don't have a ship right now. You're kind of a captain without a ship. And it's like, I got a deal out there. It could happen. It could not happen. Then you got a performance. You're in there, and you're a lot of guys are like at the welterweight division. A lot of guys they're at 205-pound division where they're like, I'm right there to making real money. Like I'm right. You're one term away from making real money. You're one phone call away from making real money, and all of a sudden it's like, I'm doing this, but I'm getting older, and things are slowing down, and I can't really catch up anymore. Like, what the hell am I going to keep doing this for until you get flush? And that's the problem right now. A lot of guys, it's not the guys at the low end. They're just stuck. You're making your 5-5. That's just what you're making. Just deal with it.
Yeah.
The top end guys are making their, whatever Ronda made, like her $3 million or $4 million the last fight. And GSP in his heyday, the rumors were like $6 million per fight. Like those guys, they're fine. They don't care. It's the guys are just right. The challengers, the guys that are ranked, 4th, 5th, 6th in line are like, I'm right there. Like it's just.
And it is, and that's what makes it so difficult too. Like going back to the NFL having a union and stuff. The UFC is so against the union because they're gonna have to disclose everything.
Yeah.
And fighters are kind of like you said. Some guys aren't smart enough; they can't really handle like a lot of crap, and they need kind of that help. And I think with this Reebok deal, in a way, it was kind of a way for them to remove managers also.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, any fighter that gets rid of their manager is stupid over that, because who are you? I mean, yes, we're smart. I've been doing this a lot. I don't say no to any fights. I fight anybody.
Yeah.
It's not that easy. It's not about just it's not who you fight. All of us will fight anybody. It's not who you fight. It's how much you get paid to do it. If you're getting paid right, and that's his job to take care of you. Mine's Robert Rivetta. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Even when I first started, he wouldn't even charge me money. He was like, "Nah, dude, we'll wait till you make some like real paychecks, and we'll deal with that." And I mean, great guy. And it just, I think he was gonna have to come up sooner or later. But to get there, like you said, there's only certain fighters that can sit out and wait. The rest of us have to.
And that's the problem. It's like it might not happen during your time. It might happen after you're gone.
I doubt it's gonna happen.
Yeah. I mean, unless there's something that happens explosively, because people don't think, a union is easy to put together. And once the ball gets rolling, it just starts. It's like a 3-year process to get this stuff going. So it's like, who's going to be around in 5 years from now? The guys that are around right now that are not going to be around in 5 years from now aren't going to get benefit of the union. And when the union does come in, they're not going to get back. It's going to be like back pension pay. It's going to be like from the day of start. It's like, well, so I had 6 months in the union. Yay.
Yeah, no, exactly. Some of my football buddies were talking about that. I mean, in football, it's like 4 years and 2 games or something,
Yep.
and you get pension.
Yeah.
So after that, like you get a check every year. Like that's the way it works. Um, something like that. And they always like, dude, I don't understand. Like, why do you,
I know.
why do y'all do that?
I've talked to a lot of fighters around my time, like that second generation of guys that came out, and most of them have walked away owing money to the sport. Like they
I,
walked away owing money. I'm in debt. I've lost money on this whole endeavor. I end up owing more money than taxes than what I was making. I needed all the money to survive. Of course, there's always a leave-in story where guys made money and they didn't pay. They owe $100,000. Like, that's just kind of
yeah,
stupid stuff. But there's guys, you've been there.
yeah,
Every dollar that comes in, you got to pay a bill with. You can't feed it out to your manager. You can't feed it out to the tax man. And so it's that the generation now that you guys are in are definitely making more money and should have a little bit, should be able to walk away at least flush. Maybe not have a
flush,
ton
yeah,
in the bank, but at least be flush. That's the big hope.
for that absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's as long as you manage it right, you do things right. Because I mean I'm no country, but I don't need much.
Yeah.
I go to camp and I train. That's where my money goes, and I spend money on my little girl. That's about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. We've talked about that before where you're like, I don't need anything. My girl gets everything and that's just how it works. And right now it's $10 on toys. Like, it's fine. So we're okay. Yeah.
Okay, and when she gets a little older, it's like, oh wait, hold on, I can't buy you $100 jeans, girl. You don't need that.
Well, Shawn, thanks for coming out here, man. I really appreciate it. And once the deal gets signed, whether it's going to be in the heavyweight tournament or fighting Fedor on New Year's Eve, either way, we're going to be interviewing again to kind of find out how training camp is going. Because I know you're starting tomorrow. It's going to be full bore, and probably about that time, we'll probably be about 2 or 3 weeks into training camp. And I'm going to talk to you about how was training camp, not really knowing what was going on. So all of a sudden now, what's the difference in now? Hey, I know what I got. I got a goal. I got a mission. Let me see what happens now. So I'm going to check that out.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, no, as soon as I hear something, I'll shoot you a text too.
Beautiful. Thanks, Shawn. I appreciate it, bud.
Man.
Have a good rest of the day, man. Enjoy your family for that the one more day before you take off to camp.
Awesome, man. Thanks, man. Take it easy.
See you, bud.